murder in the city of New York, but this time it was a tenant who killed the employee of the landlord. This employee was sent there to collect rent from a person that owes $26,000 in back rent. Now, why would this landlord put his employee in harm's way? I don't know. Why would this landlord think that it's a good idea to go collect rent knocking on someone's door, especially someone who has shown and displayed a distaste and a disdain for the system that they're supposed to be complying with? I don't know. But the reality is that when it takes the city of New York almost 2.5 years to get rid of a tenant that is not paying, there's a lot of frustration both on the landlord side as well as the tenant side. This is what brings violence, right? So if I was that particular person's relative, I would be suing management and the landlord. They should have never, ever sent an employee to knock on a tenant's door for rent. That's not the way to do this business. Secondly, I would figure out a way to sue the court system for the city of New York that allowed this person who had a record of disturbances on the property, a record of not complying with the lease agreement, to stay in that property owing $26,000. There's a lot of fault here that goes around to both sides. In addition, any landlord that sends an employee or themselves to an apartment or a home to knock on a tenant's door to collect rent, they're fools. They put themselves in harm's way. Once you get to the other side of that door, remember, they live on the other side of that door, the tenant who wants to do harm to you. That apartment is already prepared to do harm to you. Now you got to fight like hell to get out of there. Secondly, you now got to defend yourself against the false accusations that they're going to say is why you were in there fighting. Thirdly, you don't know if they're going to make sexual accusations against you. You don't know if they're going to make accusations against you that go against their civil rights. You don't know if they're going to go to court and say, hey, you know what? I gave him sex for the sake of staying here. You don't know what the story is. And now you got to find yourself defending against that. It's he said, she said. So any landlord that in today's time still goes and knocks on doors, you deserve everything that you get to you. Because there's a right way to do this business, right? We send out notices. If the people don't respond to those notices in an appropriate time and in a positive manner, we take them to court. That's what we have attorneys for. That's what you have a court system. However, in New York City, we really can't rely on the court system because we know once we start that, we're gonna go without rent for almost 3 years. So we need to really take a deep look at the system in the city of New York that allows a tenant to stay there for almost 3 years without paying. And we also need to take the time out to educate both the tenant and the landlord on what's appropriate behavior. Dan Borrero, USA Land Ventures. I hope to see you at my next mentorship class that I host every single Wednesday night. The link is below. Take care.